You're tuned to WMIC 95.3 FM, streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Time now for another edition of Thumb Sportsline. I am your co-host, Eddie Fury. That is Mike Gallagher from the Sanilac County News, sports writer, reporter extraordinaire. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Eddie. How are you?
Great. Another Tuesday night. This show is pre-recorded due to the fact another Tuesday night game.
A must-see game.
A must-see, must-do game.
Yeah.
And about the 7 o'clock hour, the pregame will start for the WBGV 92.5 high school girls basketball game of the week. We have the Brown City Green Devil girls at the Sandusky Wolves, highly anticipated. That's going to be on 92.5. We'll get to that. With a little bit of a preview in this hour. In the meantime, on this January 27, 2026 edition, we're already just past the midway of the high school girls and boys basketball season already.
It's crazy.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. They already got into the second round of BWAC play, so... and this is wrapping up the first round of Big Thumb Conference play. So.
Yeah, after tonight. Yeah,
after tonight, yeah.
A lot of big games. We'll go through that list and schedule or listen to the pregame show with myself and Jeremy Burgess later on tonight on 92.5. In the meantime, let's go right to it. Hockey action. The Thumb Air Legion had a pretty good weekend. We know that they had a little bit of problems there at one point, but when you can get back-to-back, one non-league win, but an important league win over a team over the weekend and on Friday, back-to-back nights. That's so tough to do.
Yep.
Hats off. They were able to split a couple weeks ago, too. So those are good points to earn there in your standings. They're right down there sitting in a pretty good position. But let's talk about them. First of all, on Friday, they got a big win on the road against Bishop Fuller United, 9-3 for the Thumb Air Legion. Great win for them.
Great win, and another great game for Benjamin Meyer. We talked a little bit about him last week. He had the hat trick against Gabriel Richard, and then he follows it up with another hat trick. He had a goal on Saturday, so just a great stretch of hockey for him. All
right, here we go. 9-3 was the score. 3 goals for the Thumb Air Legion. In the first, second, they had 2 goals. Exploded in the fourth. Bishop Fuller United did too, but too little, too late. They needed to score at least 5, or by that point, 9 goals to tie it up. They can only muster 3 goals. But when you start off hot like that, that's got to feel great here for the Thumb Air Legion. Shots on goal, 64 total.
There you go.
There we go. 15 only for Bishop Fuller United. The defense really stepped up.
That is insane. That's an insane number of shots on goal. That's an impressive performance from the offense and a great job by the defense.
You talked about Benjamin Meyer, right?
Yep.
In that big game. I mean, how tough is it, you would think, coming off, on a Friday night, you got to turn around. You're probably at home by past midnight for sure.
Right.
It's a long trip down there.
Yep.
You wake up a little groggy, long week from school, and they got to play that afternoon.
Hockey players are just built different, though, Eddie. They're crazy, man.
You talked about the goals. Benjamin Meyer had the second goal in the first period of the game in the win over Bishop Fuller United. Coleman Bund had the first one. Meyer did help out with the assist. Chase Chelaski, power play goal. And that's something that Thumb Air Legion has been doing a lot better this season. Getting their goals at least on half those power play opportunities. Peyton Bowerman in the second period. Scott Young got the goals in the second period. Benjamin Meyer, third period. Peyton Bowerman as well before Bishop Fuller United scored 3 straight goals. But Meyer said, hang on there, as well as Bowerman to score the last 2 goals for the Thumb Air Legion to take this win. That's a lot of goals. And again, that's a big win on the road for them.
Yeah.
All right, now looking to the Saturday afternoon game, special day there. That was the Armed Forces Cup game. It was against Tawas. This was a conference opponent. This is what you need. You need this win, and they were able to take it.
Yeah, so, and that's a big rivalry game. I was actually there Saturday afternoon. They were actually down 2-1 at one point, but they responded well. Penalties, a little bit of a factor, but you'll have that in a rivalry game. I think Tawas was able to take advantage of some power play opportunities, but when the Legion was at full strength, they were pretty hard to stop, and it was really a great effort all around. The Legion raised $632 at the Armed Forces Cup, which will be donated to the Sanilac County Veterans Affairs Office. So, very cool.
I saw the picture of them handing the check, too.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So they had it was one goal apiece in the first period. Thumb Air Legion got 3 in the second to Tawas' 1, and they shut out Tawas in the third period. Great goaltending there. 3 goals for Thumb Air Legion to get the win 7-2.
So in the second period, they outscored them 3-1, but Tawas got the first goal.
Right.
So it was 2-1 at one point.
Yeah.
So great response from the Legion. You get down by a goal, and respond with 3 unanswered. That's pretty impressive.
So the goaltending, who's the goaltender for the Thumb Air Legion?
Jaden Collins was on Saturday. Yeah,
played the whole game.
Yeah.
39 shots on goal for the Thumb Air Legion, and just 17 for Tawas Braves. Again, the defense really helping out their goalie. Cy Beagle had the first period goal, and then in the second period, like you said, they were down 2-1. In the bottom half of the second period, Nicholas Sturritz had the goal. Cy Beagle with his second goal of the game. Chase Chalaski got the third goal in the third period. Peyton Bowerman, Benjamin Meyer, and Nicholas Sturritz once again getting the goals here for the Thumb Air Legion. Nice win here. This was a conference win, too.
Yep.
You need it for the standings. So, and right now they're currently sitting in first place, I believe.
Yeah, yep.
So, up next for the Thumb Air Legion, they got, again, another busy week. I think 2 games this week. On Wednesday, I believe they have a game. And then that will be on the 28th. That's on the road in Saginaw, not too far.
Right.
That's FMV Griffins. And then he will come home on Thursday, back-to-back nights, 6:30 p.m. They host the Gladwin Flying G's. So
2 conference games and 2 very important matchups for the Legion this week.
So the following day, too, on Sunday, they had the supportive skate. Bad weather, but families were able to, some families came out, about 13 sets of families. And kids came out for
still
that.
Good turnout, still a great event. And, it's great to see all the things that the Legion hockey program puts together, the Armed Forces Cup, the supportive skate. They're going to be doing the Eager Strong game coming up here. It's great to see. Obviously, it's great to see the Legion playing well, but it's also great to see, the things that they're doing for and with the community.
So the Thumb Air Legion is hosting that Eager Strong Hockey Night for Cancer game on Saturday, February 14th. That's a Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Typically is when they do that time for the games. That's against FMV again. In memory of what they say the number one supporter and fan, Jeffrey Eager, with all proceeds from admission, 50/50 sponsorships, donations, and T-shirt store being donated to Colintown on behalf of the Eager family. And one of those Eagers is playing hockey right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Lauren Eager, one of probably the top all-time goalies at this point.
Yes.
For the Thumb Air Legion.
Yes.
And she's still playing hockey.
Yep.
So good for her. Saturday, what was the atmosphere? You were there.
It was a great crowd. Yeah, great crowd. There was a lot of excitement. Because it was a little bit chippy, I guess you could say. You know, there were some big hits. There were some lots of penalties, but it's a rivalry game, and that's kind of the stuff you like to see in a rivalry game. But yeah, absolutely great crowd, and obviously they raised a good amount of money for Veterans Affairs. So,
all right, good deal. And again, looking at the standings, they're in first place still right now, right? So it's good. You get at least half these victories. There was they were tied for first at one point. Now they're starting to create a little bit of a gap. They have currently 24 points. Gladwin Flying G's has 22 points, so having a 2-point lead at this point. FNV Griffins, who they're playing Wednesday, has 20 points. That can be made up pretty quick here.
Yeah,
so it's close.
Yeah.
Even Tawas Braves, despite the record, they have 20 points, and Tri-Valley Thunder 18 points. So it's pretty close altogether.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So hockey's a little bit different, right? They go with the points system here, just like the NHL. All right, good luck to Thumb Air Legion this week. Wednesday and Thursday games. Away game with the FNV Griffins, and then coming back home for a home game on Thursday the following day. All right, good luck, Thumb Air Legion hockey. 1 week, in just a moment here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3.
All across the Thumb and Blue Water area, There's one propane supplier that's ready to serve you. It's Kohler Propane, with locations in Brown City, Memphis, and Bad Axe. Kohler Propane, where they strive to keep your fuel bill down and provide you with the best possible service. They guarantee their propane prices for 1 full year. There's free tank inspection and free safety inspection, plus keep full and budget plans are available. If you are not a current Kohler customer, now's the time to make the switch and call Kohler's. Whether it's propane for your home's heating system or for your farm or business, they're ready to serve you. Remember, Kohler's covers the entire Thumb and Blue Water area. For information, call toll-free 800-572-2191. That's 800-572-2191. Or visit getkohlers.com. Remember, nobody gives you gas like Kohler's.
Tri-County Equipment, we got it all.
Farmers, right now, you're not in the field. It's the perfect time to take advantage of Tri-County Equipment's off-season service and inspection program. This program includes inspections for square and round balers, combines, utility tractors, row crop tractors, and four-wheel drive tractors. The John Deere specialists at Tri-County Equipment will come right to your farm and do on-site inspections. Call or stop in at your nearest Tri-County Equipment location for complete information. Tri-County Equipment, your locally owned John Deere dealer, with 11 locations serving Michigan farmers in Sandusky, Marlette, Bad Axe, Carroll, Burton, Lapeer, Fenton, Reese, Saginaw, Birch Run, and Auburn Hills. Visit them on the website at tricountyequipment.net and like them on Facebook.
Tri-County Equipment, we got it all.
Welcome back to WMIC 95.3 FM. It's Thumb Sportsline. I am Eddie Fury. That is Mike Gallagher. We are part of the Thumb Sports Writers Association group as well. And you want to talk about the polls real quick?
Yeah, we probably should run through those real quick.
Let's go through those. Our weekly polls, schmoes. Now, some guys kind of go through how it was through the whole season. I think what this weekly poll is how you did that week. So you're going to see some teams fluctuate in and out of the top 10 on my votes.
Right.
Because I'm going by the week and what a team did. So, all right. So here's the polls.
Yeah, and I think some people look at it as you compare it to the way the polls were last week and whether the teams did anything to lose their spot or to move up. But everybody does the polls a little bit differently, but it all evens out in the end.
I do it how they did during the week.
Right.
Because it's not a final poll, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So in boys basketball, a little bit of a, maybe not a shake-up, but a little bit of some movement at the top. Harbor Beach, still your number one team. They had 5 first-place votes. And Croslex with the big win over Yale. They are in second. They had 4 first-place votes, so only 3 points separate Harbor Beach and Croslex. And we recently, well, not recently, just a couple minutes ago, actually, received a message from Clark Ramsey that Croslex will be playing at Harbor Beach on Friday, February 13th.
It wasn't scheduled, was it?
No, this is a game that they added to the calendar.
So when is this?
Friday, February 13th.
Okay.
And it's going to be at Harbor Beach.
Wow.
So I don't know if Clark has intentions of covering that one, but if not, Eddie, I think you're going to have to make a trip up to Harbor Beach.
All right, yeah, that looks like a great game. Now, I did vote Croswell-Lexington, my Sanilac Broadcasting vote. I voted number 1. I switched it when I realized, wait a minute, they just beat Yale.
Right.
I'm putting them above Harbor Beach for that one. I'm rewarding that one.
Yeah, and Harbor Beach has some great wins because they've beaten number 3 Elkton Pigeon Bayport. They've beaten number 4 Cass City, and the losses, not terrible losses. Yeah. But when you look at Marquette, 7-6 overall. I think I don't know if I thought that Marquette was maybe a little bit better, but either way, because Harbor Beach and Croslex both have multiple losses. I don't think either team has a bad loss, so I think you could go either way. If you pick Harbor Beach number 1, understandable. If you go with Croslex number 1, understandable. Especially because Croslex is coming off of such a big win over Yale.
Yeah.
And Croslex has to battle through the BWAC.
Yes.
I mean, it's a tough game every single night. So at number 3, Elkton Pigeon Bayport. Number 4, Cass City, which Cass City just rocketing up the polls. They're undefeated in 2026.
Conference play, right?
Yeah. Number 5 is Reese. Number 6, Kingston. 7, Sandusky. 7, Ubley. So we got a tie there. And then number 9, Carroll. Carroll kind of taking a pretty big drop, some tough losses.
Yeah, if they get another loss, they might drop out for me. So yeah.
Well, it's tough because they've had some tough losses, but like they lost to Harbor Beach last night. So what do you punish them for losing to the number 1 team in Harbor Beach? They played them tough.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think they're at a 3 or 4 game losing streak.
Yeah.
But number 10 is Millington, and then receiving votes. Peck received 2 votes, Brown City 1, and Deckerville 1.
Okay, so these are my votes. I had Croswell, Lexington, Harbor Beach, Lakers, Cass City, Sandusky, Ubley, who just lost to Kingston, by the way, yesterday, Millington, Reese, Carroll, and Kingston. This was before the Monday night games last night. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest discrepancy between our polls is I have Kingston higher.
Yeah.
Now, you said Kingston beat Ubley last night, or Ubley beat Kingston?
Kingston beat Ubley.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, big win.
Just the fact that Kingston is kind of a team that you can't just go off of their record. They played some pretty crazy competition, especially non-conference. But yeah, I mean, your polls sound fine. There's nothing too out of sorts. But yeah, so Harbor Beach with 5 first-place votes, Croslex with 4 first-place votes. We could probably go through and figure out who voted who for the top spot if we really put our heads together.
Yeah.
Because I'll admit, and this is no disrespect to Harbor Beach, I also voted Croslex number 1, just because I think Croslex has the best win between the two of them. Now, obviously, Harbor Beach has a couple more signature wins, I guess you could say, with Harbor Beach beating Lakers and Cass City. Obviously those are 2, and Carroll last night. Now, granted, our polls were before last night's games, but I do think beating Yale is a bigger win than beating Lakers or Cass City. So that's just my reasoning there. The others receiving votes I thought was interesting because, again, full disclosure, I didn't vote for Peck, I didn't vote for Brown City, and I didn't vote for Deckerville. So I know everybody is probably going to assume I was the one who voted for all the Sanilac County schools, but I could absolutely see Peck climbing up these rankings.
Yeah.
Brown City, 2 really tough games last week. I mean, two tough losses. So I don't disagree with whoever gave them a vote. And then, Deckerville as well. So on the girls' side, just a little bit of a shake up. Obviously, Kingston first. They received all 8 first-place votes. That's probably not going to change for a while. I think you can pretty much just put that in, write it in Sharpie on your polls for the rest of the season. But Kingston moves up to number 2 because of Cass City's loss to Millington. And I read in the Tuscola County Advertiser, I don't know if you looked at Saturday Sports section, according to Scott Bowlesby, that is Cass City's first loss to Millington in girls basketball since 1990.
Their first loss?
to Millington, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted, they haven't been conference opponents until recently.
Yeah. Did they have some missing players from the team?
According to our sources, yes.
Okay. Because there's some that play a volleyball super team. Is that what they have?
Possibly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to speculate on this show,
okay.
but
okay.
But yeah, great win for Millington. Kind of a confusing loss for Cass City, considering they had just beaten Caro.
Yeah.
So Cass City stays. Well, Cass City was at number 2. They dropped down a spot to number 3.
Okay.
Because they still have a great resume. And unfortunately, Caro lost to Cass City, so you can't really move Caro up to number 3. Croslex lost to North Branch last week. You can't move them up to number 3. Deckerville loses to Kingston. You can't really move them up. So the biggest, the team that benefited the most was Brown City. Brown City moves up into the top 5.
Yeah.
They are sitting at number 4. So tonight will be a top 5 matchup between number 2 Sandusky and number 4 Brown City. Number 5 Caro, again, they lost to Cass City. That's a tough one. Number 6 is Croslex. Number 7 is Deckerville. Number 8 Reese. 9 is USA. 10 is North Branch. North Branch receiving some love after beating Croslex. And then others receiving votes. Millington with 7, Owen Gage with 1, and CPS with 1.
Well, I'm that 1 for CPS.
Were you? Okay.
This is that's why I'm saying how I do things is a weekly poll.
Right.
Okay? Kingston number 1 for me. Number 2, Sandusky. Brown City number 3. Cass City number 4. Carroll number 5. Deckerville number 6. Number 7 for me is Reese. Then I have North Branch, Millington, and Carson with Port Sanilac. You're asking, where's Croswell Lexington?
I was going to say, yeah.
They're on a losing streak.
Okay.
The last 2 weeks have not been good, and North Branch is the one with that big surprising win over Croswell Lexington last week. That was perplexing.
Right.
And that's why I said they're going to drop out here, because this is a weekly poll for me.
Right.
This is not the whole season poll. If it's the overall season poll, you need to have 20 spots, and Croswell's in there.
Right.
But Carson with Port Sanilac had some good wins in their
They had 2
league-size matchups. A huge one over Owen Gage that we had talked about last week.
Right, which is kind of confusing that Owen Gage got a vote because they lost both of their games last week.
To All Saints.
To All Saints and CPS.
Somebody's not doing their homework out there. So.
Right. But, yeah, 2 huge wins for CPS. They beat Akron by 20 points. They beat Owen Gage by 20-plus. So, yeah, I almost put CPS at number 10, but I think North Branch beating Croslex is, it's a top 10 win. And so, that's got to carry some weight.
Yeah, just 3 straight losses for Croswell Lexington girls. They are against the good teams. The first 2 on this losing streak was to Emily City, Armada. Their game against Kingston was postponed. Mm-hmm. Who CPS has on their schedule, too, by the way, if they already played them. But the loss to North Branch was the biggie for me, so the 40-26 loss. We'll get to that point when we get to that point. I figured this polls would probably eat up this whole section of the 5 o'clock hour.
Well, there's always lots of controversy with the polls.
Yes.
Eddie, do you think there's anything Sandusky could do to surpass Kingston at this point?
Put Kingston on their schedule.
Yeah.
Just like Harbor Beach put Croswell on their schedule.
Yeah.
They want to know now.
Right.
Man, they're probably going to say, if they have another game that's canceled, they're going to call Yale pretty soon. You want to play?
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, that's what we got. Our weekly polls, always controversial, here on Thumb Sportsline. We'll be back with basketball talk. We will start off with girls basketball. Last week we started off with boys. We'll start off with girls on WMIC 95.3 FM. We'll be right back. Liberty Lanes and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy the Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky. Serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook.
We interrupt this broadcast for a special graph weather statement.
Icy roads equal vehicle mishaps, and if this happens, you might as well take it to the #1 collision department in the area, Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky. Our body shop technicians are experienced and ready to tackle any body damage thrown their way, whether it's collision or a deer hit. Graf can get the job done quickly and get you back on the road. Graf works well with all insurance companies and on all makes and models, so why would you go anywhere else? Stop in and see Tina or Zach at Graf Chevrolet's Body Shop in Sandusky for your no-obligation estimate.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled program.
Welcome back to WMIC 95.3 FM. It is the Thumb Sportsline radio show. A podcast replay will be available by tomorrow. And this is pre-recorded because another Tuesday night game on WBGV 92.5 FM. We have Tuesday night high school girls basketball. The Brown City Green Devil girls at the Sandusky Wolves. Looking forward to this game. Myself and Jeremy Burgess, and you will be there tonight as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this big game. Let's dive right into it in the Big Thumb Conference Black Division.
Yeah, Eddie, it's a good problem to have that we've had the past couple of weeks where we have to pre-record this show because there's such a big game that we have to cover on Tuesday night. But, the Sandusky, Brown City, undefeated in conference play, both teams with just one loss on the season. Brown City with a loss to Kingston, Sandusky with a loss to Yale. Yale and Kingston, two of the top programs in the area. It's nice when things work out this way, where you get these undefeated matchups. We got it last week with Croslex and Yale, last week, both teams had to make sure they weren't looking ahead to each other, Brown City got a great win against Marlette. Sandusky got a big win against Marlette. And then both teams kind of had to sneak past Ubley. Yeah. Ubley playing some pretty tough basketball last week.
Pesky. So for the Sandusky Wolf girls, with their, I would say, a pretty good dominating win over the Marlette Red Raiders, 56-29. They are 10-1 right now overall. 10 girls scored in this game. Caroline Renke, 15 points. Emma Merriman, it's been really a bright spot here in the last few games here at 10 points. Maggie Kineff doing it all. She had 8 points, and Brooke Wendling was 6 points. So I'm starting to see this team spread the ball out. Everybody's stepping up point-wise. They're not carrying, no really, just like the last season, I think, no really key player having an extraordinary game of 20 points.
Right.
A really defensive team. I'm excited to see this team because it's my first time trying to see what their style of play is this year. Are they trying to be? You've seen them a couple times already.
I have. I'm looking forward to watching Emma Merriman play, though. She's kind of emerged as of late as a key contributor for Sandusky. So I'm looking forward to seeing her play. But yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen Sandusky. So.
Yeah, and I'm trying to understand, why so low scoring. Last year, I kind of just saw they were controlling the pace until they have a big quarter to open things up because games can be close. Sometimes they're tied with these teams early on, but then they have a big quarter, either the third or fourth, and it happens in the second half. So against Ubley with their win, the Wolves had some fight against the Bearcats, but the Lady Wolves got their way to a 33-24 win. Caroline Renke, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, doing it all out there. Brooke Wendling, 10 points. She's the point guard, right?
She is a guard, yeah. It'll be kind of interesting to see tonight because Caroline Renke's the go-to point guard, but you see she gets 8 rebounds. They've been using Reinke on, all over the floor in different positions. So that gives Brooke Wendling the opportunity to play some point guard. It gives Emma Merriman the opportunity to do some handling of the ball at point guard. So it'll be kind of interesting to see just how that lineup looks tonight.
Riley Moore had 6 points in the win against Ubly. Maggie Kineff for 5 points for Sandusky. Those were the games last week. That was on the 20th and 22nd. Tonight, Tuesday night, against Brown City, they host in the first round meeting, and then they'll have Memphis at the end of the week. Next week, they'll have Millington and then Harbor Beach. We're entering February. Can you believe it already? Yeah. And then Ubly in a couple weeks. Marlette, but the rematch against Brown City will be on the road at Brown City on February 19th. They end the season with non-conference play. Potential teams that they may meet in the districts or possibly in the regionals, too. Mm-hmm. Cass City and Lakers are their final games of the regular season. So, things are going to get tough here for Sandusky.
Yeah.
And it always the second time they meet some of these teams here, they either get them or it just becomes a struggle.
Right.
So,
well, I think tonight, obviously having the home court advantage is going to be a big deal for Sandusky. I think, obviously Brown City plays a lot better at home, like most teams, But you mentioned, kind of the lower scoring finals for Sandusky this season. And, I think it's one of those things where when they can limit their mistakes, because Sandusky's not going to make a lot of mistakes, Eddie. And when they can control the clock and just hold on to the ball and wait for that good scoring opportunity, that makes them nearly impossible to beat, because most teams aren't going to be able to force Sandusky to make mistakes, and Sandusky is not going to make mistakes on its own. So I think that'll be a big key for Brown City tonight to, kind of do what you can to force some Sandusky turnovers. Maybe you go with a little bit of a full court press. But I think when it comes to Sandusky with the final scores, I think, some of them look a little bit odd. But as long as you're winning games, I don't think it really matters how you do it.
Brown City themselves, same opponents as Sandusky had last week, just a flip-flop on the dates. January 20th, Brown City gets the win over Marlette. They score 65 points to Marlette's 27. So a big explosion of points there for Brown City. You had 4 different players in double figures. Your leading scorer, we talked about her all season, Harley Leisure. She had 17 points against Marlette. 15 points for Thorley. What's her first name?
Madeline.
Or
Maddie Thorley.
14 points for Lexi Bruzy. Am I right?
Yep.
And 11 points for Hayes.
Chloe Hayes.
So there you go. And you had 6 points with contributing with Honey, too.
Yeah.
So, Brown City looked really good. They had 25 points in the first quarter, 18 in the second. So they had 20 in the third, and they just kind of took it easy, but 2 in the fourth. They limited Marlette to just 16 points in the first half and then 11 in the second half. For Marlette, there is a bright spot. I saw 13 points for Miley Lemansky.
Yep.
For Marlette.
And for just real quick on Marlette, last week was just a tough week because you have to play the 2 top teams in your conference back-to-back in Brown City and Sandusky. And, obviously Sandusky and Brown City are trying to prepare for their big matchup tonight. And, I think Marlette, unfortunately, was on the wrong side of that. But going into tonight's matchup, obviously it's Harley Leisure versus Caroline Reinke, 2 stars, and that's awesome and that's exciting and everything. But when you look at last week's games, what the surrounding players were able to do for Brown City was extremely encouraging to see.
So Brown City, with their win over Ubly, they squeaked by 41-38. Great win for them. They scored 24 points in the first half. It was 12-7 at the end of the first quarter, and then 7 more points for Ubly in the second to Brown City's 12. So, at that point, 24-14. And then 7 points for Brown City in the third quarter. Ubly had 14. They exploded, and they had 10 in the fourth quarter. Each team did. So they hung right in there. Brown City spread the ball out pretty good. 16 points for Harley Leisure in the win over Ubly. 9 points for Bruzy, and Thorley had 9 points, 7 points for Hayes, too. Seen a familiar
same thing, yeah.
Familiar thing here with the names. Harley Leisure, 10 rebounds, 3 steals. She's going to need to do that tonight against the Sandusky Wolves. For Ubly, tip of the hat to them. Madeline Johnson, 16 points in their loss to Sandusky, and Lindsay Pruski had 8 points, 6 points for Addison Puff. And 8 points for Lindsay Peruski. How many Peruskis? And I talked about this before. They have a clan out there. So, Brown City after this game, they will have Carson with Port Sanilac. I still didn't get a date about the Deckerville game yet, if they're going to play that one or not. Makeup?
Brown City Deckerville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not heard either, no.
For Marlette, let's go back and look at them. They have Ubly on the 27th. Their game against Akron Fairgrove from yesterday was postponed due to weather. We had a snow day on Monday yesterday. And then they'll have Harbor Beach. So tough games here for Marlette Red Raider girls at Ubly and at Harbor Beach on the 27th and 29th. Ubly themselves, like I said, they have Marlette on the 27th. And then they're at Kingston. They put that on their schedule on the 29th. Harbor Beach. They're having some problems. Look at the standings right now. Sandusky and Brown City undefeated in conference play. Overall, Sandusky 10-1, Brown City 9-1. Harbor Beach is 2-8. Ubly 4-4. Marlette 3-6, and Memphis 4-7. 2-game lead right now for Brown City and Sandusky. So whoever takes over first place, they're still 1 game ahead of the third place team, depending what Harbor Beach does for the rest of this week. They have Memphis, and they'll have Marlette this week. However, next week they have Brown City and Sandusky. Gauntlet there coming up next week for Harbor Beach.
Yeah.
So here you go. That's the Big Thumb Conference of the Black Division, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's take a peek, and we'll wrap it up with our Big Thumb Black and White divisions here. Looking at the White Division right now in first place is tied in conference play with the Carroll Tiger girls and Cass City Redhawk girls. Overall, Cass City 7-3. 8-2 is Carroll. Cass City kind of reeling off the loss to Millington to put him in that tie with Carroll. They got a good win there, Cass City, last week, 34-26 over the Carroll Tiger girls. They have Reese this week. They're a spunky team, and they have Lakers on the 29th. A couple weeks they have Bad Axe and a very feisty USA team on the 5th as well. USA is 3-2. They're in third place or second place spot right now. 8-3 overall. Reese 3-2, tied for second place. They're 7-3 overall. Kingston 3-7 overall, 1-4. So again, you can't look past the team. They take advantage if the certain team doesn't have players on there. So good luck to them. And this week Millington has games against Carroll. And Saginaw Nouvelle, apparently. There's no Vassar team. But they also have a cross-conference team at Sandusky and a USA league game next week. So a very busy week for Millington girls. They might sneak in. USA might sneak in as well. So a lot of things can happen this week.
Yeah.
In the Big Thumb White Division.
Yeah, it's definitely far from decided. I know after Cass City beat Carroll, obviously you think, okay, well, Cass City's in the driver's seat now, but then they lose to Millington. It just kind of goes to show just how competitive that conference is. Yeah,
and Carroll tonight has Millington tonight, so look out. And then at Bad Axe on the 29th. Big Thumb Conference, that's the Black and White Division review in high school girls basketball. When we come back, we'll go into the BWAC.
Sure.
And then, of course, the Big Thumb Conference Blue and Red Divisions here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM, streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Don't forget, high school girls basketball live on 92.5 tonight. Brown City Green Devil girls at the Sandusky Wolves. Whoever wins takes over first place of the Big Thumb Black Division.
Tri-County Equipment, we got it all.
Farmers, right now, you're not in the field. It's the perfect time to take advantage of Tri-County Equipment's off-season service and inspection program. This program includes inspections for square and round balers, combines, utility tractors, row crop tractors, and four-wheel drive tractors. The John Deere specialists at Tri-County Equipment will come right to your farm and do on-site inspections. Call or stop in at your nearest Tri-County Equipment location for complete information. Tri-County Equipment, your locally owned John Deere dealer, with 11 locations serving Michigan farmers in Sandusky, Marlette, Bad Axe, Carroll, Burton, Lapeer, Fenton, Reese, Saginaw, Birch Run, and Auburn Hills. Visit them on the website at tricountyequipment.net and like them on Facebook.
Tri-County Equipment, we got it all.
It's Bar Talk without the bar. Hi, it's Sean Cantwell. Join me and Adam Harahuck every Monday and Friday here on the Voice of the Thumb, WMIC 660 and 95.3 FM for Happy Hour. We talk sports, music, pop culture, beer. Anything you talk about with your friends at the bar, we talk about it here on Happy Hour. So pull up a stool and join the conversation Monday and Fridays from 5:30 to 7 right here on the Voice of the Thumb, WMIC 660 and 95.3 FM.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Welcome back to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. We're on the topic of high school girls basketball. Let's go into the Blue Water Area Conference. Right now, the Yale Bulldogs in the lead. The Croswell-Lexington Pioneers girls in our immediate coverage area, they're kind of reeling here, Mike. Started off well, and the first two losses to probably two top teams,
right,
fighting for that BWAC, Emily City and Armada. But the loss to North Branch, that was a hurt one. That was a biggie there.
Well, yes, that was a tough loss. But the first time around, that was a really close game between North Branch and Croslex. So I don't want to say I'm surprised that North Branch won. Yeah. I don't really want to say it's an upset because
North Branch is a complexing team too.
Right. Yeah, because they're coming off an 18-10 win over Richmond.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they beat Croslex. But we knew coming into the season that Croslex was going to be pretty inexperienced, but that they would be getting better throughout the season. Now you're wrapping up the first half of BWAC play tonight against Yale, and that's another tough one.
Yep, that's the biggie. And Yale right now is 7-0 in conference play, 10-1 overall. Croswell-Lexington 4-3. They are 6-4 overall. They have to, when they meet up against these teams, when they meet up against Emily City and Armada, they got to beat them and they got to beat Yale to get back in this race.
Well, and that's why the second half of the season is going to be so important for the Pioneers because, again, they're an inexperienced team. They're a younger team, and with a first-year head coach, you want to see the growth throughout the season. Whether that results in wins or not, I think it definitely could. I think the Emily City game was a game they could have won. I think our Armada was a game they could have won. The North Branch final score leads me to believe that North Branch probably, earned that one.
And that was at Croswell. So.
Right,
Yep.
right. So Croslex wins in North Branch wins in Croswell. But yeah, I'm not rating off the Pioneers at all. I think it's just a tough stretch of games. You have to be a little bit thankful that Kingston game got rescheduled or canceled as well, because then you could be sitting at a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
But I do trust that Croslex is going to continue to get better, and I do think the second half of the season is going to fare a bit better for Croslex.
So since the start of the new year, they've only won 1 game out of 5 for Croswell Lexington. So that was the 40-26 loss last week. They have Yale tonight, huge game. Croswell Lexington could try to pull off this upset. That's at Yale. This week they have Richmond as well. That's on the 30th. That should be a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then next week, Genesee Christian. And then the rematch against Armada, who they lost to, as you mentioned, back on January 16th, 60-53. And Emily City in 3 weeks. Got to win those all starting tonight against Yale. You might have a little bit of room with Yale because you're going to meet up with Yale again on the 20th. But, yeah, this is where you need to get back into it. So, yeah. By the way, Yale Bulldogs, as I said, 10-1. The girls, Yale Bulldog girls, 7-0 in conference play. Armada 6-1. They are 7-3. Emily City 5-2, 8-4. They are in third place, and Croswell Lexington 4-3 in conference play. Emily City themselves this week, they have Richmond and Armada. So again, implications there. Armada, as I said already, against Emily City. They have North Branch tonight. So this is all coming around here. They're all facing each other this week, and that's really going to shake up the standings. As I said, North Branch against Armada, and then on Friday they'll have Algonac. Yale, Croswell Lexington, and they have Almont girls on the 30th on Friday night. So it's the BWAC, man.
Yeah.
It can go whack. Just like in boys, it's the same deal here in high school girls basketball. All right, that is the Blue Water Area Conference. We'll take a short break, come back here, and talk about the Big Thumb Conference Blue and Red Divisions on WMIC 95.3 FM. We'll be right back here on Thumb Sportsline.
The King of Cars.
This is Denny King, the King of Cars, with More Motors of Caro. Why choose More Motors of Caro? Because you get more for your money with More Motors of Caro.
More Motors in Caro.
You get award-winning service before, during, and after the sale. You get fair trade offers. You get transparency. And most importantly, trust.
Denny King, the King of Cars.
At More Motors of Caro, we take pride in building relationships that last a lifetime. It's customer service that makes the difference. Why would you settle for anywhere else when you can have the best?
More Motors in Caro.
Choose More Motors of Caro and get more for your money. This is Denny King, the King of Cars.
Denny King.
With a selection of Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, you owe it to yourself to come see why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Caro for over 60 years. Located on the west side of Caro on M81, come say hi to Denny King, the King of Cars.
Tune in for the Cavalcade Radio Hour Saturdays at 9 a.m. and hear selections from my more than 50 years of record collecting. It's a unique mix of mid-century music and recordings from the golden era. Plus, you'll hear a new Cavalcade spotlight each week. The Cavalcade Radio Hour, Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on WMIC, 660 a.m. and 95.3 FM, Sandusky.
Welcome back to WMIC 95.3 FM. It is Thumb Sportsline, high school girls basketball talking again. This is pre-recorded high school girls basketball live broadcast on 92.5 WBGB. It's Brown City Green Devils at the Sandusky Wolves. Pre-game starts at 7 p.m., so tune in with that with myself and Jeremy Burgess. Come your way. That is Mike Gallagher. I am Eddie Ferry. This is Thumb Sportsline on 95.3 FM. That game on 92.5. All right, now we're going into the Big Thumb Conference. Let's talk about the Blue Division here. High school girls basketball. Highly anticipated matchup last week. It was Kingston and Deckerville. Kingston comes out on top. They are 3-0 in conference play, 12-0 undefeated. They're pretty much going to be winning the Big Thumb white, black, and their own division titles here, I would say unofficially. Deckerville 2-1. Their lone loss in conference play, that's 2-1, was to Kingston. They are 9-2. Their loss was to Cass City, but the league win lost to Kingston last week. Peck 1-2, 5-6 overall. Mayville Wildcat Girls are 0-2 in the conference play, 1-9 overall. Let's talk about the big game. First of all, Kingston on their schedule. They beat Harbor Beach last night, by the way, 68-39. Last week, this was the big league wins for Kingston. They beat Peck on the 20th, 62-21, commandingly. And then against Deckerville, 53-34. But Deckerville did have some fight in this game against Kingston, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I think it was just too much Kingston in the first half. Deckerville responded well in the second half, but it's just so impressive watching Kingston girls play basketball, because it seems like what they do defensively is just completely takes you out of what you want to do, and this isn't anything against Deckerville, but it seemed like everything was hectic. Like it seemed like Kingston was just causing all sorts of just miscues, but they also sped up the pace of play, but they did it so effortlessly. It was like it was really, really impressive to watch Kingston girls play basketball, because it seemed like while on the court for Deckerville, it seemed like everything was out of sorts. Kingston kind of played like things were out of sorts, but they were in control the entire time. And obviously, Molly Walker had a huge game, but Vanessa Osborne hit some big shots, some important shots. And, you have to give a ton of credit to the Kingston defense.
Well, do they have... Were you at that game? Did they have a bigger lineup too on this? From the bench.
Yeah. No, Deckerville did pull up some fifth quarter players for the night, but I don't think Deckerville's depth hindered it at all, because Kingston did most of its damage in the first half, when Deckerville had all of its starters out there. So I think you just have to give all the credit in the world to Kingston, because this was their top competition in the conference. And, obviously being at home was huge, because it was a great crowd, tons of Deckerville people showed up. But, yeah, you have to give all the credit in the world to Kingston for that win.
Yeah, 34 points in the first half of Kingston to Deckerville's 15. Deckerville did explode with 15 points in the third quarter. Kingston keeping pace with 11 points and 8 points in the fourth quarter to Deckerville's 4. Final score of 53-34. As you mentioned, Molly Walker, 24 points. Osborne with 15 for Kingston. Maylee Tank led Deckerville with 11. And, there you go. So, not too much for... looks like Libby had trouble there against Deckerville. Against Kingston.
I think, Kingston is a team that, yes, they do get a lot of games finish with high scores where they're scoring 60 or 70 a night. And it's not a situation where they are running up the scoreboard or anything. It's just they play such good defense that it creates so many fast break opportunities. And, when they're in their half-court offense, they run their offense to a perfect tee, and creates huge scoring opportunities. Okay,
it says here on our stats from Deckerville that Myra Garza had 9 and Libby Tank had 8 in that game. And the win for Kingston over Peck, they got that win last week as well. That was a 62-21 win. 45 points in the first half to Peck's 17. Molly Walker at 19 points. Talia Harrington with 14. Vanessa Osborne, 13 for Kingston. Aletta Jones, she's the bright spot for the Peck Lady Pirates, had 8 points for the Peck Pirates. I mean, Kingston's doing it right now. I mean, they're beating pretty much every team they play cross-conference-wise. They have in the BWAC. They have in the other Big Ten conferences. I mean, is there a team out there that can stop this Kingston Cardinal girls team? Later on this season, they're going to have North Branch on their schedule. They have Lake Orion. They have Carroll Tigers on their schedule, too, and Emily City.
Yeah,
so,
there's some interesting matchups there. I do think Deckerville still has the ability to beat Kingston, but Kingston, it was. I don't want to say it was over after the first quarter or after the second quarter, but the way that Kingston made Deckerville look, like I've seen Deckerville quite a few times this season. They've always looked, confident, poised, just like a great basketball team. And Kingston can completely change that when they're playing, whether it's a good team or a bad team.
So the next couple of weeks, Kingston has non-conference games. They'll have Ubly on the 29th. They beat Harbor Beach last night, 68-39. Apparently they're playing in the Big Thumb Black Division 2. So they have Emily City. They're playing the BWAC schedule and next week and against North Branch as well. And then they'll have Lake Orion in 3 weeks before they get back to league play on February 12th against Mayville. Then they get back to Big Thumb Conference. They're going to play in the White Division 2 and take on Carroll and Bad Axe. And then they'll wrap up league play at the end of the month of February at Peck and at Deckerville. For Deckerville, looking to bounce back, and they will have the All Saints tonight on the road. They have the Lakers at the end of this week on the 30th. Next week, they're at Akron Fairgrove and CPS. So, and they'll have race on their schedule. They got a league game at Mayville and Peck again on February 12th. The rematch against Kingston's on the 24th. And Deckerville ends the season at Harbor Beach. They still have a game with the Brown City team if they choose to make that up.
I hope they do. Chances are they probably won't, just because it has no league implications or anything like that. But I do hope they do figure out a day to get that rescheduled.
So Peck this week tonight, they host Caseville. They're at Almont on the 28th. That's tomorrow. And next week at CPS. And then on the 5th of February, they will host the Bay City All Saints. So pretty interesting there. What do you see Peck? I mean,
well, for Peck it's so tough.
Yeah.
Because I think they are a good team. But are you a state-ranked great team like Kingston? No. But you can't expect them to be. Are you as good as Deckerville? No, not quite, but they're getting there.
They're getting there. Yeah,
they've been they played them tough. So I think for Peck, unfortunately, you're not quite ready to stack up against Kingston and Deckerville, but you're going to be eventually. I think you're going to. Pretty soon, hopefully, especially with Aletta Jones being a sophomore and Harper Kerr being an 8th grader. This is a season where it's a season of growth, or hopefully it's a season of growth, so that you can compete with these top teams next season.
So North Huron is taking on Mayville tonight. And Mayville will have Akron Fairgrove at the end of this week. Mayville will play at Owen Gage and North Huron next week. Speaking of the Big Thumb White Division, Owen Gage Bulldogs went up against the CPS Tiger Girls last week. Highly anticipated matchup. And boy, the CPS Tiger Girls really took care of Owen Gage commandedly. 41-21 win. 20-point win. And then Owen Gage also lost to Bay City All Saints, another league opponent. So this kind of helps CPS slide right back into that Big Thumb White Division league title chase.
Well, and CPS has beaten every team in the Red Division outside of All Saints now. They had 2 wins last week against Owen Gage and Akron Fairgrove.
Yep.
Thank you. And, if you're CPS, they did exactly what they're supposed to do. You got to keep winning until you get that rematch with All Saints. And, but they did it in such an impressive fashion, beating Akron Fairgrove by 20, beating Oengage by 20. Like, you just have to give CPS a ton of credit for bouncing back after that All Saints loss.
Yeah, they scored 10 points in the first 3 quarters. CPS Tiger Girls did, 13 at the fourth quarter. Discrepancy may be 43-42. Oengage scoring 8 in the first, 4 in the second and third, and 5 in the fourth quarter. 21 points there. So the leaders in this game, I'm trying to find out, was it 8th grader Ella Grigg?
Yeah.
14 points.
Yeah.
11 rebounds. An 8th grader, her first double-double on varsity. Kaylee Thomas, Emily Cole, great bright spot here. 6 points. Marley Nichols, Brenna Plinus, and Taylor Bobbio, right? 4 points each. And Adrian Richmond and Taylor Bobbio got a bucket as well. And they out-rebounded him too. Emily Cole, 11 rebounds, 2 for 2 from the free throw line for the CPS Tiger Girls. Last night, they lost to Memphis, but, they went up, a division size-wise. They lose to Memphis last night, 34-25. They were close in that game, but Memphis was able to pull away. Emily Cole, stood out with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals last night. Adrian Richmond, 6 points in that loss to Memphis. Against Akron Fairgrove, you talked about. Ella Grigg, the 8th grader, 21 points against Akron Fairgrove, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Adrian Richmond, 8 points. Kaylee Thomas, 8 points. And Emily Cole, 6 points, but she had 12 rebounds for the CPS Tiger Girls. So this week, CPS Tigers, they had Memphis last night. They lost to them 25-34. They have Brown City at the end of this week. They're taking on the competition. Next week, in the new month of February, they're going to have a home game against Peck in Deckerville. But we're looking ahead to February 10th. I'm looking at this game maybe covering or possibly the rematch in Oengage. But I think this is a game that should be covered. The All Saints is at CPS on February 10th. And please tell me that doesn't land on a Tuesday. It does land on a Tuesday, of course. So that's a Tuesday night game. So that might be a game we might have to cover because that's a league potential implications here for the CPS Tigers. So good luck to them. For the All Saints this week, they have in league play, they will have Deckerville Cross Conference on the 27th, and they got Saginaw MLS on their schedule in Caseville. So 3 games this week for the All Saints. Caseville is a league game for them. I don't know if I mentioned what Oengage had this week. Oengage has Mayville next week and Marlette. I don't think they have a game this week, according to their schedule. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. North Huron is in the red division as well. North Huron will have Mayville this week. That's the only game they have. Akron Fairgrove this week. They have St. Helen Charlton Heston Academy tonight, supposedly, and they'll have Mayville on Thursday. So in Caseville, they're 0-6 overall right now. They have Peck tonight, and they're on the road at the All Saints on the 30th. So right now, 72 overall, Bay City All Saints. In league play, though, 4-0 for the All Saints. CPS Tiger Girls are 4-1. Oengage 3-2 and 6-4 overall. Good luck to the Lady Tigers, man. Looking forward to cover them here this season. All right, that is the Big Thumb Blue and Red Division. We'll take a break and start talking high school boys basketball in our next segment here on Thumb Sports. Liberty Lanes and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy their Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky, serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's Sam and Scott
2025 is in the rearview mirror, and we plan on making history in 26. We have one remaining 25 Silverado, and we slashed the price on this truck in order to move it out.
You can save up to $15,700 on our remaining 25 Silverados on the lot. This includes demo savings, trade-in, and GM rewards, card sign, and spend. This truck retails for over $62,000. You can get this now for only $46,500. Loaded up with a V8 and leather, it'll be tough to beat this deal.
Current Chevy lessees can get into a very well-equipped 26 Silverado 2FL for as low as $292 a month. Or you can purchase this $55,000 truck for as low as $41,750.
If you're looking for a good pre-owned car, SUV, or truck, Car Bravo is now offering a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty on most vehicles on the lot.
And Car Bravo also offers financing with rates as low as 3.9%, with prices starting at $11,900.
That's right, Sam. We currently have a good selection of 3/4-ton trucks and SUVs on the lot, as well as Suburbans with highly sought-after Duramax engines.
So start the new year off by saving big at Graf Chevrolet on M46 in Sandusky. See dealer for details.
Graf family, we're making friends.
Welcome back to WMIC 95.3 FM. It is Thumb Sportsline. We now talk into high school boys basketball. This show has been pre-recorded because I have a game tonight. High school girls basketball, Brown City Green Devil girls at the Sandusky Wolves. That's on 92.5 WBGV. So if you want to listen and stay here, or you want to switch over, you can do that, because this show will be posted for a podcast replay by tomorrow. All right, let's go into the Blue Water Area Conference in high school boys basketball. A Tuesday night game we had. We did Thumb Sportsline here, and I raced my way down to Yale High School, able to catch the Croswell-Lexington Pioneers and the Yale Bulldogs. Classic Blue Water Area Conference battle. Yale Bulldogs doing great throughout the whole season. Croswell-Lexington did as well. And it was a fantastic game at Yale High School on a Tuesday night.
It lived up to the hype, Eddie. We were very excited about that matchup. The past couple of matchups between Croslex and Yale have been instant classics. I mean, you look back at last year's district final. Unfortunately for Croslex fans, coming out on the losing end of that. But you know, this game has become such a big rivalry because there's always so much at stake. It feels like. Obviously, Yale got the district final win last season. But if you look back to the regular season of last year, Croslex gave Yale its first BWAC loss of the season. Yale would end up losing to Imlay City. Then you get the shared BWAC title between the Bulldogs and the Spartans. There's been an overtime game now. There's been triple overtime game where Croslex won by 13 points. There was a game in Yale that we did. I don't know if you recall, where Yale won by 2. They finished the game on a 12-0 run. There was a Croslex 1-point win in the district semifinal. This game has become such a big deal because, obviously they're great games. It's fun watching them, but in order for a game to become a rivalry or a big deal, there has to be something at stake. And again, you look at last season, during the regular season, Yale was trying to win an outright BWAC title. And, that's what was at stake. And Croslex got the upset. And then, the district final, obviously there's another title on the line there. And last week, first place in the BWAC was on the line. Both teams were undefeated, and just a fantastic game.
In conference play, that was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So Yale, that was suffered their first loss of the season to that loss to Croswell-Lexington last week. They are 14-1 now in second place of the Blue Water Area Conference, 7-1. Croswell-Lexington 8-0 in conference play. They are 12-3 overall. 8 lead changes in the first half between these two teams. Croswell started off with the scoring 2-0 at the 7:26 mark, but at one point Yale led 11-2 at the 2:23 mark. Some 3-point shots. Max No, fantastic standout this week. Dick Kerrigan had a 3-point shot there for Croswell Lexington with about 21 seconds left. Made it 11-8 at the end of the first quarter. Open up in the second. Again, another tight game there. Croswell Lexington got within 13-12 before they took back the first lead. Osmolowski with the 17-16 1-point lead for Croswell. Yale took back the lead about a minute later. A 3-point shot by Jackson Kohler, the star player for Yale. No hits a 3-point shot to respond after that. Made it 20-19. So it was 19-7, 20-19. Back and forth affair here in the second quarter. That was in the middle. Yale took back the lead with Debs shooting a 3-point shot, 22-20. And then this guy pops up, Peyton Old. He exploded there at the end of the half, and then the second half, he hits a 3-point shot, making it 23-22. 2-point shot by Yale's John Chamberlain at the 2:20 mark, 24-23. No, with 2-point shot with 16 seconds left because of a little bit of a scoring drought, and they took the lead with 1 point at the half, 25-24. 8 different lead changes in the first half. No free throws by either team in the first half. That was unbelievable. Classic first half.
And then all of a sudden, both teams couldn't stop fouling in the second half, or something happened at halftime.
Well, Croswell opened up the third period. They led 29-28 at the 4:55 mark before Chamberlain made some back-to-back shots, make it 30-29. A steal and a 2-point shot by Jackson Kohler made it 32-29 with 3:39 to go, and they controlled the lead throughout the end of the third period there. They led by 2, but Old, with a minute 35, made a shot, made it 36-34, but Yale hanging on to that 2-point lead at the end of the third quarter. They held on to that lead all the way through that fourth period. They were back and forth. A lot of big shots, 3-point shots by Saunders for the Croswell Lexington Pioneers. Number 1, Cameron Saunders showed up in the fourth period. A lot of different players really showed up here, and I was so impressed by Cameron Mason, first-year head coach for the Croswell Lexington, up against the season coach. He's got some lineage here, too.
Right.
They're friends, of Garnett Kohler and the family there, because I do believe Cameron Mason, a Brown City native? Yep. And he's the head coach for Croswell Lexington. But Yale held that lead all the way through the fourth period for pretty much, and they were leading 49-45, a lot of free throws being thrown around there. And until I do believe this is where things got kind of crazy in the fourth. I think, they were leading with 2 minutes and I think about a minute and 27 left, right? Yale hanging on to a lead in the fourth, and then all of a sudden Croswell Lexington comes in with some free throws and ties it up. It was free throws that really helped them take it into overtime. 8 of 14 for free throws for the Yale Bulldogs, and they were all in the fourth period. None in the first, second, or third. 19 of 24 free throws. They made 19 free throws for Croswell in the second half alone.
Yeah. So. And, 8 of 14 for Yale, not too bad, but it opened the door for Crosslex to be able to make a comeback. Those couple of misses proved to be huge for Yale. And, to be honest, great back and forth game through 3 quarters. The fourth quarter starts, and Yale's in the bonus with over 6 minutes to play. And you start to worry a little bit just because Jackson Kohler is so good at getting to the basket, and he's so good at getting those foul calls. But instead, it was Croslex that benefited from the free throws. It was 46-39 with 4:40 to play after 2 made Yale free throws. And you kind of, you're never going to count out Croslex, but you're down 7 with 4:40 to play, and Yale's in the bonus. Yale just has to control the clock, get to the free throw line, which they did. But Croslex, it was obviously on the offensive end. The free throws were huge, but they had a couple of big plays on Yale inbounds. Croslex would score, and then Peyton Old got a steal on an inbound, which turned into a score. There was a 5-second call on an inbound from Yale, which resulted in a Croslex score. And then there was another one, which it was tough for the Yale kid. That he was about to get another 5-second call on an inbound. And when he turned to the ref to call a timeout, his foot went over the line. I mean, it was the perfect storm for Croslex. And in that final 4 minutes and 40 seconds after they were down by 7, they pretty much had to play perfectly down the stretch, while also creating some turnovers. But Peyton Old, what a breakout game for him. He ended up being the difference, I think, both offensively and defensively.
I think he had 16 points in the game.
He had 16 points in the game, which was a career high.
And Max Noel, 20, I believe.
Yeah. And
14 for Cameron Saunders.
Right. And Saunders, I mean, you can't say enough about Cam Saunders because he didn't, I don't think he struggled in the first half, but he was scoreless in the first half. He was still playing great basketball. He just wasn't scoring. He ended up getting 2 points in the third quarter and then completely took over in overtime, which, that's exactly what you want from your star player. And, he delivered. Real quick on Yale, Jackson Kohler was so impressive.
28 points, I believe.
Yeah, he had 5 threes in the first half. It just incredible player. So I do want to mention that. But we talked about it last week on the show, Eddie. It was the winner of this game was going to be determined by who steps up outside of the star players. And, Max Noel got 20 points. Cam Saunders took over in overtime. But Peyton Old had a breakout performance. And Shane Slanik, too. In that fourth quarter, he if you recall, he airballed a three-pointer, which, as you know, opposing student sections love when somebody airballs a three-pointer because every time you touch the ball for the rest of the game, they're going to be chanting airball. But Slanik was perfect from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. Everybody seemed to step up for Croslex, and they did it with such confidence. For Peyton Old, he was putting up shots. He was driving to the basket. He was being aggressive with the basketball. And, for a kid to play so confidently like that, it was amazing to see.
8 straight wins, because after that victory over Yale on Tuesday a week ago, 3 days later they get the win over North Branch, 72-60. 8 straight wins for the Croslex Pioneers. Now, in league play, they've beaten Emily City. They beat Almont earlier at the beginning of the new year. Those are key first-round matchups against those two teams and against North Branch. So they played North Branch twice. They got the first-round win over Armada and also the first-round overtime win over Yale Bulldogs a week ago on the 20th. You can hear the replay of that game on SaniLacBroadcast.com, by the way, and on Spotify. 64-57 overtime win for Croswell. This week, in 2 days, on Thursday, they'll have Richmond. That's the only game of the week. That's nice to have because right after that game, look out, you got Emily City on the 3rd next week, Armada in Algonac, and we just found out, you mentioned earlier, confirm, it's Croswell-Lexington, highly anticipated cross-conference matchup. I'm happy they scheduled this game and fit it in on the 13th. They'll have Harbor Beach on February 13th. Now, they will have Almont and Yale at the end of the season. That is major league games at the end of the season, so it's not done yet. Now, for Yale, hey, you got one loss. Now what you need to do is get some help from those other teams like Emily City, Armada, or Almont at the end of the season. They got to take care of business. They've got Flint Powers Catholic on their schedule tonight. The Yale Bulldog boys will have a very huge game against Almont on Friday night. Next week they have North Branch, Algonac, but their rematch against Emily City comes on the 13th, and Armada in 2 weeks. They finished the season at Croswell Lexington. Of course, we're going to be there for that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Please tell me that's not a Tuesday also. Please tell me it's not. It's a Friday night, thankfully.
Perfect.
I mean, this was a classic matchup, the way you expected this to go. So,
yeah.
So,
and just another quick note, Croslex, the thing about the BWAC is there's really no nights off. So you mentioned Croslex, you beat Yale, and then you got to take on North Branch. North Branch hit 12 threes against Croslex in that win. It ended up being a 12-point win for Croslex, but you have to go. Yeah, everybody is looking forward to Croslex Yale Part 2 at the end of the season, but these teams have to battle through the Blue Water Area Conference in order to get to that point. But in that win, Peyton Old, he had 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. So great week for the kid. And then just a final observation, I guess. Croslex beat Imlay City and Yale on the road. Both of those games were on the road, correct?
Yep.
So the second time around, you're going to get to play both of those teams at home, which... If that season finale, both teams...
Almont's a road game, so at the end of the season.
Almont's a road game, okay.
Yeah. But they have Imlay City home, and they have Armada home, and they have Yale at the end of the season at home. So,
So that's huge. I mean, they took care of business on the road.
So they are 8-0 in conference play. Yale in second place at 7-1. Imlay City at 6-2, so they're still in the hunt. Almont 4-4. Armada 4-4 as well. Imlay City 10-4 overall, but those losses, they scheduled some great competition.
Mm-hmm.
Those losses to Croswell Lexington, and I think Yale, but they're going to find them. They're coming up with Yale here pretty soon. So that's the BWAC. It's going to go whack again. You know, that is the Blue Water Area Conference in high school boys basketball. Good luck to our immediate coverage area team, but we count in the Yale. I like throwing in Imlay City if you did the classic battles in Almont because of football. So in Armada, why not? This whole I like all these teams, but I love a competitive conference like this.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, looking forward to that end of the year matchup. Depending what Yale can keep it up here and try to just keep winning here and stay in the hunt. All right, it is Thumb Sportsline at 95.3 FM. That's the Blue Water Area Conference talk there. Amazing how that time just blew up and took up that time here. So we'll be right back, and we'll dive into the Big Thumb Conference black and white divisions because we had another classic matchup between Sandusky Wolves and Brown City.
We were spoiled last week.
Yeah, there was Friday night last week. We'll talk about that game here on 95.3 FM. It's Thumb Sportsline.
Hi, Todd Bowers here with More Motors of Carroll. Our selection of Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is the best it's ever been. When you shop More Motors of Carroll for your next vehicle purchase, you get to experience car buying the way it should be. Fair, open, and honest. It's simple, yet so many other dealers, especially city dealers, can't follow through like we do. Come see me, Todd Bowers, at More Motors of Carroll, locally owned since 1965. Come see why your friends and neighbors are driving the Carroll.
Hello, radio listeners. This is Mike from More Motors. Here at More, unlike city dealers, we will not charge you a prep fee. What we care about here at More is giving you a great buying experience, and helping you pick the right vehicle is a big part of that. Here at Moore's, we constantly get vehicles in that aren't here long enough to advertise. So please call us and tell us exactly what you're looking for in case it's not in stock. Our staff is ready to take care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale.
Michigan has great cities, great food, great lakes, and great music. I'm Adam Harahuk, the host of Sessions, and 97.7 has the guts to give me 6 days in which to bring you great local original music. Weekdays 9 to 10 p.m. and Sundays 9 to midnight. Unsigned bands or Michigan bands that went national and made us proud, I play it all. On the Thumb's greatest hits, 97.7 WTGV, and streaming the world at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Support local music.
Welcome back to WMIC 95.3 FM. It is the Thumb Sportsline show on this Tuesday evening, pre-recorded because of our high school girls basketball game. It's Brown City at Sandusky Wolves. That is on WBGV 92.5. Replays of this show and all our sports games, if we're smart enough to record them, are posted on our website. Go to the Thumb Sportsline link. at SanilacBroadcasting.com. All right, let's take a look at the Big Thumb Black Division in high school boys basketball. Harbor Beach still on top. They have a 2-game lead in first place at 5-0, 10-2 overall. Sandusky in second place, tied with Ubly at 4-2 in conference play. Sandusky 9-5, Ubly 8-5, and K-Pec at 2-1, still hanging around despite their 6-6 overall record. Brown City at 2-3 in conference play, 6-6 overall. 1-4 is Marlette, 2-8 overall, and Memphis 0-6 and 1-11 overall. But Harbor Beach 5-0, 10-2 overall. Let's talk about Sandusky staying in the hunt for the Big Thumb Black Division League title. Now they need a lot of help. They already faced off against Harbor Beach earlier this season. We covered that game to start off the new year. But them beating Brown City, who's still a scary team, for Sandusky, keeps them in that hunt. But they need help too. But let's talk about this game. Great Friday night game. Great atmosphere.
Yep.
You had the young cheerleaders come out to make the atmosphere even hot. It was like they pulled out the bleachers, not on the other side behind the team, but upper deck.
Yeah.
But the whole side, on our side, with me and Jeremy Burgess on the south end, it was pretty full there.
Yeah.
The fans from Brown City and Sandusky. Great atmosphere on the Friday night, especially a cold, freezing, no school Friday night. Things were heating up inside. It was just a classic battle between these two teams.
Yeah, and off the bat, it was not looking like it was going to be.
No.
Brown City got out to an incredible start. I believe it was 16-4 at one point.
At the 127 mark after a 3-point shot by Lawson Cooper.
Yeah. So first of all, credit to Sandusky for battling back. Jack Betts made a
three-point buzzer
three-pointer
shot
at the buzzer.
Half court, by the way.
To make it 16-11, which doesn't seem like a huge deal, but Sandusky definitely stole the momentum in the final 2 minutes of that first quarter, which proved to be big because Sandusky controlled the second quarter.
Yeah, near the end of the first quarter into the second quarter at the 6:25 mark, they had a 9-0 run. It was 16-13 in the second quarter at that point, before Brown City finally scored the 5:55 mark. I do believe it was some... they made a 2-point shot, but free throws by Phillips here. Gavin Phillips, I do believe, for Sandusky. Started to chip away here. They were making at least 50% of their free throws here. It was 18-14. Brandon Champeau makes a 3-point shot at the 3:21 mark, making it 18-17. Brown City still hanging on to this lead. Jack Betts makes a 3-point shot at the 2:40 mark that finally gets them the lead, 20-18. That was a 16-2 scoring run by the Sandusky Wolves against the Brown City Green Devils.
Yep. It was a game of big runs in the first half, at least.
Here what's great about that point, because I do believe there was a technical called on Jack Betts. Okay? Or something was going on out there, yeah?
There was a technical called. I don't know if it was I think that might have came in the third quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that point in the game, it looked like, because things were getting pretty heated by both teams on there, and you wonder, okay, can he stay focused? He walked off real quick, cooled off, came back on, sat down on the bench, had a good talk with the coach, went in there and had a great game defensively, and just trying to make some baskets. He likes to take over, but once they started spraying that ball out, the whole team really came together in the second half.
Absolutely, yeah. And I liked in the second half, Sandusky made it a point of emphasis to try and get the ball to Carter Shell.
Yes.
In the post.
I love this kid, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Headband.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong out there. Doesn't look like, yes, he does, man. Yeah. The way he was getting open and the way he was hustling to the ball and just chucking it out, but he was getting the ball back. These guys were saying, this guy, he's just boxing out so well against defenders, either one or two players defending him. He was just knocking him down on the glass there.
Yeah. Yep. He had a great game. But it was Champeau, it was Betts, and it was Carter Shell, and it was all three of them at different points in the game.
Yeah, Sandusky maintained the lead throughout this third quarter as well. There was a tie, though. Cooper made a 2-point shot in the third quarter, 7:45 mark to open it up. But Sandusky took back the lead, making it 24-22. Champeau making a bucket there, 26-22. That's where that technical foul came in at the 5:43 mark. Things settled down after that. The coach and him had a little quick discussion. Forgot about it. Went back out there and maintained the lead. 32-29 at the 145 mark. 32-30. Sandusky Shell, as you said, he made back-to-back shots at the near the end of that third quarter with about a minute left, leading 36-30. Browning missed some free throws. However, Betts made some free throws as well, extending the lead. It was a 7-point lead. That was the largest lead, I believe, for Sandusky, 38-31 with 42 seconds to go. They held the lead 40-33 at the end of the third quarter. Maintained that lead all the way through. And Brown City, being Brown City, they did fight back. At one point, a 3-point shot by Lawson Cooper, 1:38 to go. 49-47. All right, timeout called. You come out of the timeout, but what happens? Cooper fouls out because he had 4 fouls at that point.
Yeah. And it was tough because, I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to debate if it was a foul or not. But Lawson Cooper is one of your best defenders, and you want him to apply that pressure on full court press. I think Browning did a good job when Cooper was fouled out. I thought Browning played well all night, actually, for a freshman. But yeah, I mean, when you're in that situation, when you're down 2, you want Lawson Cooper on the floor. And then, Sandusky makes a free throw and makes it a 3-point game. Then it's pretty obvious what you're going to do if you're Brown City. And credit to Coach Hatton and credit to Garrett Simpson. He got a great look at the end of the game at that 3-pointer. Unfortunately for Brown City, it didn't fall in, and Sandusky survived. So
another big point early in the fourth quarter, 7:38 mark. Jack Betts makes a 3-point shot.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Shell makes one of the largest lead of the game for Sandusky, 47-37. He gets posted up for a 5:55 mark in the fourth quarter. Gets himself 2 points as well. They kept rewarding him. Every time he got the ball, they kept giving it back to him. So there you go. Shampoo pitching in. Phillips and Shampoo also pitching at the end. But I think Shell and Betts just did a heck of a job in this game. Carter Shell really emphasizes how you just get down and play in the, I guess in the valley, in the pits there.
Right.
You just take it all.
In the trenches, yeah.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's right there. And I think he's just growing as a player as we move along throughout the season.
Yep.
Great win here for the Sandusky Wolves. They needed that one to stay in this hunt. 50-47 is still a close game. They held that win. They'll have Memphis this week on the 28th and the All Saints on the 30th. The rematch against Harbor Beach comes up on February 4th, and I'm kind of looking at that game come next week already. So
Yeah.
And then they'll have K-Pec. That's another scary game on the way. Then Ubly and Marlette. You got to win out.
Right.
You got to pull out that miracle against Harbor Beach and then ask for help.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, because earlier in the week, Sandusky had to rally late to get past Marlette. Marlette almost knocks off Ubly. Ubly beats Brown City. I mean, just all fairly competitive games. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Sandusky can survive the rest of these games and put themselves in a situation where a win against Harbor Beach gives you a share of the title. Because I mean, it's tough night in and night out in that conference. So
20 points for Lawson Cooper in that game.
Yeah, Cooper had a great game. Yeah. Sandusky did a good job of limiting Garrett Simpson. I believe he had 4 points. But yeah, Cooper did a great job. Brady Worrell in the first quarter, he had 3 3-pointers, finished with 12. I thought Carden Hagee played well. Just a great basketball game.
And 13 points for, I do believe, Jack Betts.
Yes.
In that game, in the win.
Yep.
And also, I believe, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points for number 15, which was
Shampoo.
There we go. All right. So those are the 2 leading scorers there. Carter Shell was, 32, is he?
I don't have the roster in front of me, but I believe
he had 10 points, I believe. So
okay.
I'm going to believe he had 10 points. So, yeah. All right. There you go. Now, Sandusky, as I said, this week, they have Memphis, Bay City All Saints, Harbor Beach, undefeated in conference play. They have Marlette tomorrow night and Wednesday, and they'll have Brown City on the 30th. So, big opportunity here for Brown City. And Harbor Beach can't look past that team, or even Marlette. You know, there's some bright spots for Marlette.
Marlette, it's unfortunate for Marlette because they didn't come away with a win.
Yeah.
But it was a great week last week for Marlette.
Yeah, they hung in there against Ubly, but came with the loss 54-51 on Friday night themselves. So they have Harbor Beach tomorrow on the road. They have K-Pec on Friday nights. But yeah, just slip right through here, you know?
Yeah.
Ubly, on the other hand, they just had a loss last night. That was against Kingston last night, by the way. Non-conference, 42-51. But they are coming off 2 straight wins last week over Brown City and Marlette. Brown City kind of reeling right now. They have 2 straight losses to Ubly and Sandusky. That's the competition after winning 3 straight games over Marlette and Landmark Academy in Memphis earlier in the month. They have on the road at K-Pec, and they're at Harbor Beach this week. It does not get easy for the whole Big Thumb Black division right now. You want to bring anything else up?
Well, just really quick with Marlette. In that Ubly game, it was a 3-point loss for the Red Raiders. Ubly finished the game on a 17-5 run in the fourth quarter. We saw the same thing with the Marlette-Sandusky game. I believe that one ended up being a 4-point game. 55-51. Sandusky finished the game on a 20-3 run in the fourth quarter. So Marlette figuring some things out, playing good basketball. Just have to figure out how to finish off these games and come away with some wins. But it seems like every season Marlette comes up with a big upset. Thought maybe it would have happened last week. They came close. And they're a team to keep an eye on, at least.
So is K-Pec. K-Pec has Brown City and Marlette this week. Next week, they have Ubly and Sandusky. K-Pec 6-6 and 2-1 in conference play. Memphis, they're reeling right now. They just have 1 win, 1-11 overall. They have Sandusky on the road at Sandusky, and then they have a home game against Ubly this coming Friday night. Next week, Brown City and Marlette. Harbor Beach is the big top team right now, but you think anybody in this conference is going to be able to maybe knock them off or not? Is it possible? I mean, Harbor Beach has a lot of close games, whether in the pretty much in the white division, you would say.
Ubly played them tough. I think the fact that Ubly has Colin Franzel is a pretty big deal when it comes to that game. Sandusky, you saw them play Harbor Beach tough for a couple of quarters, but I think, man, I don't know. Harbor Beach is pretty good, Eddie.
Yeah,
and Harbor Beach is pretty good.
Yeah, after their win against Carroll last night on a Monday night, 77-65 on the road at Carroll last night. Last week, their only game of the week, they had the win over Memphis, 70-26. No problem there. Tomorrow night, they got Marlette and Brown City on Friday night. So, there you go. Carroll Tigers, like I said, they lost to Harbor Beach. Carroll's, right now, 4 straight losses. They lost to Cass City back in the 16th. Close loss, 40-42. They lost to Reese, 43-53. 10-point loss there. They lost a 2-point loss last week in the play against Millington, 64-66. And then this cross-conference non-league matchup against Harbor Beach, 65-77. They surely need a win. Thankfully, tomorrow, hopefully they can wake up. They got Bad Axe tomorrow, but look out, they got the rematch against Lakers on Friday night on the 30th, where they lost in overtime 65-67 back on January 7th. Lakers 7-0, undefeated in the conference. They're 11-2 overall. Cass City 6-1 and 8-4 overall. Millington 4-3, Reese 4-3, and Carroll falling further down the ladder in the conference 3-4. USA is 3-4, Vassar 1-6, and Bad Axe 0-7. So right now the race, I would say Reese, Millington to a degree, and Cass City with 1 loss, and they got Lakers undefeated right now. And Lakers playing really good basketball, even in close games.
Yeah. Yep.
So Lakers this week, they have Cass City and Carroll. So there you go. Tough matchups on Wednesday tomorrow, and then Carroll on Friday night. That's at Carroll. Next week, Lakeville and Millington. So they got a little bit of a gauntlet here. Cass City, I already mentioned, they're taking on Lakers. That's tomorrow night. And I do believe that's WOW Sports Game of the night, I think. They have Bad Axe on Friday night. Cass City does. I think it's going to probably, any four of those teams can sneak right back in.
Right.
But Lakers having that one game lead, that's got to feel pretty comfortable.
That's huge, yeah.
Pretty comfortable. All right, that's the Big Thumb Conference. Black and white division. Lakers on top right now, but they got huge matchups against Cass City and Carroll this week. So there you go. We'll be right back here on WMIC 95.3 FM. It is Thumb Sportsline. We got the Big Thumb Conference blue and red divisions to talk about on 95.3 FM. We'll be right back.
All across the Thumb and Blue Water area, there's one propane supplier that's ready to serve you. It's Kohler Propane, with locations in Brown City, Memphis, and Bad Axe. Kohler Propane, where they strive to keep your fuel bill down and provide you with the best possible service. They guarantee their propane prices for 1 full year. There's free tank inspection and free safety inspection, plus keep full and budget plans are available. If you are not a current Kohler customer, now's the time to make the switch and call Kohler's. Whether it's propane for your home's heating system or for your farm or business, they're ready to serve you. Remember, Kohler's covers the entire Thumb and Blue Water area. For information, call toll-free 800-572-2191. That's 800-572-2191. Or visit getkohlers.com. Remember, nobody gives you gas like Kohler's.
Get ready to rock.
May I have your attention, people?
It's the Saturday Night School of Rock.
Okay, get ready, dude.
You're nuts. You're all nuts.
It's the Saturday Night School of Rock.
I'm talking about bands that rock.
I will take you to school.
It's the Saturday Night School of Rock. This Saturday night at 8 p.m. on 97.7 FM WTGV.
And for those about to rock, I salute you.
Welcome back to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM, streaming online at sanilacbroadcasting.com. A podcast replay can be found by tomorrow. Go to the Thumb Sportsline or our sports section from the daily news section link. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find, but I'll post it out there. All right, we just wrapped up Big Thumb black and white divisions as we review now the Big Thumb Conference Blue Division. A rescheduled game last night. The Deckerville Eagles lose to the Bay City All Saints 52-43. All Saints in the Big Thumb Blue Division. Deckerville also lost to Kingston 42-54 last week. So that was kind of a hit to them in the standings. The loss of All Saints. Right now, All Saints at 2-2. Deckerville falls at 1-3 in conference play, 5-7 overall. All Saints 4-9 overall. Mayville at the bottom at 0-3, but still competitive team, by the way. 6-6 overall. In first place right now in conference play, it's Dryden at 2-0. Kingston at 3-0. They are 7-7 overall. Dryden 7-6 overall. Kingston's a good team, like you said. Don't let that record fool you. And boy, we were fooled because they beat Ubly last night.
Yeah, Eddie, I have a small complaint about the MHSA website.
Yeah.
Dryden is at 2-0.
Yeah.
But they're first in the standings, and Kingston's 3-0.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No. No. Just a small thing that I
Well,
noticed.
let's just say they haven't lost yet in
right.
play.
I mean, technically, yeah. Neither of them have lost yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's starting to look like it's going to come down to Kingston Dryden.
Yeah, because that last night's loss to Bay City All Saints for Deckerville, very costly.
Yeah, definitely. And now, Deckerville has lost to Dryden, Kingston, and All Saints. We were hoping that they could win 2 out of 3 or, maybe salvage 1 win against All Saints at least. But unfortunately, it does look like Deckerville's probably out of the title race here in the Blue Division.
Yeah, by the way, the Kingston Cardinals, look at their schedule. We talked about this, every week. They played Yale, lost to them 33-62, but that was still a game. that's worthy of a great opponent. Rochester Hills, Lutheran Northwest, they had that on their schedule. They have Cass City. That was a 1-point loss for Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
They had Carroll on their schedule. They lost 65-77. They had Sandusky, and they beat Sandusky 66-56. Auburn Hills Oakland Christian on their schedule. That was a loss for Kingston. But then they had 2 straight wins in league play against All Saints and Mayville. Lost to Croswell Lexington, but not by much, 52-61. And now Kingston's won 3 straight, beating Alpena, the big league win over Deckerville last week, 54-42, and against Ubly last night. They have Sterling Heights Parkway Christian tonight, but the big one is coming up Friday night. It's Dryden at Kingston.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be huge.
So whoever wins that one ultimately is in first place in conference standings at this point. Dryden at Kingston, that's their only game of this week because their game against Burton Bendel was postponed for them. All Saints, they played Deckerville. They took care of business there last night. They have Akron Fairgrove cross-conference and non-conference game against Sandusky this week. Next week, they have Hemlock, but they'll have their matchup against Kingston on the road at Kingston for Bay City All Saints next week. That's on February 6th. Mayville, look out for Mayville now. 6-6 overall. At one point, they had 5 straight wins, right? Over CPS, Caseville, Akron Fairgrove, North Huron, Otisville, Lakeville. So all those were red divisions. But then they had 4 straight losses, starting with Deckerville, 45-68. Against Kingston, 41-52. Against the All Saints, 41-69. 3 games behind already like that in league play. Doesn't help.
Right.
They lost to Midland Calvary Baptist a couple weeks ago. Last week, they get the win over Caseville, non-conference game. They have Carsonville Port Sanilac tonight, and they'll have tomorrow Saginaw Arts and Sciences. Now, another non-league game here. It's at Peck. Now, I'm looking forward to this game because, Mayville, they can score points or scoring at least over 40 to 50 points per game at this point.
Yeah.
So, all right, they could still maybe scare somebody in the blue division at this point. But right now, it is Dryden and Kingston. I would say to a small degree, All Saints. I mentioned Peck. That is our game of the week on Friday night. Cross conference, Mayville Wildcats at the Peck Pirates. Peck Pirates seems like to be the strongest team. They've beaten teams already in the Big Thumb Blue Division. They're in the Red Division. It seems like they have a pretty good charging lead here right now in that conference in Red Division.
Yep, and again, just 1 game for Peck last week. They've played 2 games over the past 2 weeks, with the Deckerville Peck game being canceled last week due to weather. So for the Pirates, you don't get that non-conference game in, but you take care of business against CPS, and you stay undefeated. Another balanced scoring attack. Lucas Trombley had a great game for Peck. Thomas West had a great game for Peck. Cody Cairo. But they did it quite efficiently as well. They had Cody Cairo, first of all, was 3 for 3 on 3-point attempts. Sorry, give me just a second. Pulling up my notes here.
By the way, Peck 3-0 in conference play, as well as Akron Fairgrove 2-0 in league play. Overall, Peck is 7-5, Akron Fairgrove 4-6, North Huron 2-2 and 5-8 overall. Carsonville 1-2 in league play and 4-7 overall. Caseville 0-4, 2-12 overall.
So Lucas Trombley scored a season high 18 points with 5 rebounds. Thomas West had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and Cody Cairo was 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, finishing with 9 points. So that trio of Trombley, West, and Cairo, they shot 17 of 23 on the night, which is an incredible number. Aiden Alfaro and Blake Trombley both scored 8 points. Alfaro added 4 assists, and Trombley had 6 rebounds. Rocco Costa chipped in with 6 points and 6 rebounds. So overall, great team performance from Peck. For CPS, tough loss. Tough week for CPS last week because they had K-Pac on Friday night, and that ended up being a pretty lopsided game, but an encouraging result last night against Memphis.
Yeah.
I was glad to see the Tigers come away with a win there, because I do think they're a good team. Unfortunately, they've just had some tough losses, but they did beat Memphis last night, 41-33. So good non-conference win for the Tigers, and not sure who they have up next, but
who's that? The Tigers?
CPS. Yeah.
CPS. After the win over Memphis last night, 41-33. They have Mayville themselves on the 27th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, tonight. Yeah. Okay.
And then Kimball New Life Christian at CPS on Friday night.
Okay.
So Peck, of course, only one game. The game that we are covering on Friday night, Snowball Winterfest at Peck.
Yeah.
I always look forward to these festivities at Peck. I love that place. They updated with the bleachers and all that. Still a small place, but still, I just like the atmosphere.
Right.
People love their basketball there, no matter what. And I think Mabel will give them a competitive game here.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But Peck's playing good basketball. And like you said, Thomas West right now, the leading scorer overall in Sanilac County.
Yes, he's a lot of fun to watch. But Trombley's really been playing great lately, too. Yeah, he shoots a lot of high percentage shots. And I think he really benefits from teams keying in on Thomas West.
So they only have one game this week, Peck does. Next week, they have New Haven Merritt Academy, Bad Axe. Finally, in 2 weeks, they'll have a league play game against Caseville, and that will be at Peck. Then the rescheduled game against Deckerville that we were supposed to cover last week is on February 9th in a couple weeks.
Okay, good.
So, until they'll have back-to-back games against Akron Fairgrove on the 13th and 16th.
Okay.
And then North Huron rematch on the 18th. North Huron kind of played them tough, even though it was Peck getting the win, 67-41. But in the front seat right now in this division, it's the Peck Pirates.
Right.
Do you think Peck maybe should go back to the Blue Division or not?
I think.
Or do you think Memphis should come in?
I think Coach Abrigo would prefer playing in the blue.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Who decides the alignment on this?
Well, it's based on enrollment.
Okay.
Yeah. So every year it's based on the enrollment of the schools. So.
Do you think Memphis could belong in the blue or red division, or is it just based on enrollment their situation?
Right. Yeah. They would be too big. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
All right. That's the Big Thumb Conference, blue division and red divisions. Over on high school boys basketball, who are you looking forward to so far this week?
Well, I mean, obviously the game we're covering right now, Brown City Sandusky.
Okay, that's girls, but for boys this week.
For boys, okay.
Yeah.
Peck Mayville could be it could be a good game,
even though it's cross conference.
Yeah.
So
CPS Mayville could be. It's kind of tough going back to back. But
for me, it's K-Peck and Brown City on Wednesday night.
Okay, yeah.
And then Harbor Beach against Brown City. Can Brown City pull off an upset? It's going to be a long shot, but it's coming home festivities too for Harbor Beach on Friday night.
Right.
But the Brown City's games against K-Peck and Harbor Beach are interesting to me.
Right.
So.
Well, and you look at Croslex, they got Richmond, which Richmond pretty down this year. So. Obviously Croslex not going to overlook anybody, but
Croslex got to keep their eye on the ball.
Should be a good week for Croslex. That's their only game. So.
Yeah, Richmond, and that's on Thursday night. But next week, look out. Emily City, February 3rd. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anything of sports notes that you want to mention?
Well, we were kind of talking about it off air, the NIL stuff with the MHSA.
This just came through a couple hours ago.
Yeah. It's
for high school, right?
A little bit too early to really have a good discussion about it because we haven't really broken down, how it's going to work or the pros and the cons of it. But
they're allowing it?
They are allowing it, yes.
NIL. High school players getting paid.
Right.
Getting paid.
Well.
Catholic schools, parochial schools are lining up right now. They're lining up right now.
Well, it's kind of
so
interesting.
what are we going to have? A Tri-County equipment sponsored player? Who would be the first NIL player in our coverage area, you think?
It's
more so in the BWAC or
one of the interesting things is that the players. It's on the players to It's on the kids, I should say, to secure these deals. They're not allowed to have collectives. They're not allowed to have.
There are still rules. There's no transfer portal rule.
No,
you have to wait a year if you want to play, somewhere else.
Yes, yeah, kind of.
Or is that going to change now?
I mean, that's always kind of.
Will high school have a transfer portal?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's getting dirty, man.
Yeah.
All right. Our game of the night is on right now. You can switch over to 92.5 WBGB. That topic is for another night. That can take a whole hour. There.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Mike Gallagher's Sanilac County News Sports section comes out, or the whole paper as a whole, on Wednesday at midnight. Get the online edition. It pops right up there, or get it on newsstands as well. Thank you, Mike Gallagher.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you to the Thumb Sports Writers Association as well. And, of course, go to our Thumb Sportsline link on our website at sanilacbroadcasting.com. And also on that website, you can find all our streams of our stations and the replays of our games that we have covered. And, of course, this program, go to the Thumb Sportsline link, or go to the Daily News Sports section. You'll see the full list of games and scores updated throughout the week here on Sanilac Broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. High school girls basketball on right now. It is Brown City at the Sandusky Wolves in high school girls basketball action on 92.5 WVGB. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sportsline.